Hello and welcome to How to Helen, where you learn something different every day. As you saw on the intro, this 2009 Porsche Cayman, the high maintenance car, is throwing a check engine light with a check engine code P2231. That code is for the heated oxygen sensor, Bank 1 Sensor 1. So today we will be replacing the heated oxygen sensor on Bank 1 Sensor 1. And one of my motivations in doing this episode today is to clarify how people are getting confused with where Bank 1 and Bank 2 is. So here in the US, if you're sitting inside a car, the driver is on the left-hand side of the vehicle. With that reference point, Bank 1 is on the passenger side of the vehicle. That confuses a lot of people because some cars, especially in the UK or in Japan, have the driver on the right-hand side of the vehicle. So with that reference point, Bank 1 is on the driver's side of the vehicle. Then Bank 2 is on the passenger side. So if you're going to share that information on the internet, make sure you give the reference point of where the driver's side is. Is it on the left-hand side or right-hand side of the vehicle? Now going back to our current project, we have to replace the heated oxygen sensor on Bank 1 Sensor 1. Now going back to our reference point, Bank 1 is on the passenger side of the vehicle before the catalytic converter. Sensor 1 is always before the catalytic converter, and Sensor 2 is after the catalytic converter. To access the oxygen sensor, you need to remove this wheel fender liner. Now, so you don't have to memorize where the nuts and bolts go to, just take a picture. It would be easier. Before removing the oxygen sensor, spray a little penetrating oil or WD-40 to loosen the threads and make it easier for you to remove it. Now let it soak for a few minutes. To access the O2 connectors, we have to go through the top of the engine. So we actually have to remove this engine cover. Okay, this is just a weird thing about this. This is the oxygen sensor, and the wire goes all the way up there on top of the engine. Then for some reason, it reroutes back down up to this area on the side. Now there's really no way to see it directly, so you have to just feel it by hand how to remove it. I can't even see it right now. I'm hoping that having a GoPro and a light would show it on camera. So that's where the connector, end of the connector of the oxygen sensor is, and I'm gonna try to feel it out, and I'll show it to you once I get it out. So with some help from modern technology, a front-facing camera, a flashlight, and a GoPro, you can actually see what the connector looks like and how it's connected. So we gotta figure out how the latch is connected and disconnect it from there, then pull it out from top of the engine to the oxygen sensor. So let's try this right now. With the connector out, press on the latch mechanism and use a flathead screwdriver to separate the two connectors. Now, this is the connector for the oxygen sensor. So now we will need to snake the connector out, going inside on top of the engine, then going back towards this area. So now we have to go get in the car. And snake the wire up here, then pull it back down. Actually, it's both wires. Right, open the retainer clip so you can separate the wires. Okay, so here's the oxygen sensor, and there is that clip that's holding it in place. So get your panel remover and hopefully you can reach it with that. So I'm gonna try. Oh, I can't do it. Alright, I gotta put the camera down. Sorry, you won't be able to see this. Okay, I wasn't able to show on camera, but the oxygen wire was clipped on by a retainer clip on this area, and I couldn't put both hands in it, so I had to use one hand to take it off, and couldn't record it because you can only fit one hand at a time. So you have to take off the retainer clip from this place. Alright, so this is the wire for the oxygen sensor, and we're gonna pull it down so we can take off the oxygen sensor. Okay, so now we're taking out the oxygen sensor. We have our 7/8 inch socket remover or oxygen sensor remover. And I put it, slide it in the oxygen sensor. Then with a 1/2 inch breaker bar, I need an extension.
12 seconds later.
Okay. I think I got it out. Now that we've broken it loose, I'm just gonna use a 22mm open wrench. Hey!
Yes!
Here is a side-by-side comparison of the old oxygen sensor and the new oxygen sensor. Now make sure you don't touch the end, as this is very sensitive. The new oxygen sensor is already pre-coated with anti-seize compound, so you don't have to put anti-seize anymore. So be careful when you put in the new one, and start by hand tightening it first, so you don't cross-thread the sensor. Okay, I'm gonna snake up the wire first, because when I'm turning it, the wire wants to turn with it. So when it's up there, it's not gonna fight the turn, because it's gonna be somewhat straight. Double check the wire that it's straight and not twisted. Now follow the wire of the oxygen sensor and try to refasten the retainer clips in its location. As much as you can, try to follow how the old oxygen sensor was wired here inside the engine compartment. I really don't want to, but I'm putting the retainer clips just to hold them back in its place so they don't move around. Connect the oxygen sensor to the vehicle connector. And with the power of technology again, we install the connectors on the retaining clips. Ta-da! Now that we have the oxygen sensor installed, connected the wires, just make sure everything's in place, nothing's missing, nothing's in the way, nothing's broken. Now we can install the fender liner. So that is how you replace a heated oxygen sensor on a 2009 Porsche Cayman. Hopefully that is the last repair that we will be doing for this vehicle for a long, long time. So this has been another episode of How to Helen. My name's Sarja. Wait, what? The headliner's falling? No!